kids on A1 chain now.
Okay.
Oh, we just sent it.
Alright, I'll let you know when I put it.
This is on 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten it yet.
I just got it.
I think I got it.
Alright, cool. For the judge, my name is Zoya Jamal. I'm the first speaker on the negation for Dougherty Valley. I'll be speaking a bit fast, so if you can't understand, y'all clear. Y'all ready? Cool. Negate condition 1 climate. EU climate policy is good. Watson 728. The EU plans a 90% emission cut exceeding current targets. Carbon price will boost removals, increase flexibility, and signal strong long-term climate goals. Squirrel K2 avoiding a tipping point. Angstrom 23. The EU led by pushing to triple removals. If it's only a policy falter or loses credibility, weak support or risk global influence and momentum, making the next few years crucial to avoiding a tipping point. After X action, UK is an obstacle. Liberia 24 months after Brexit, Europe lost a great deal on climate alteration at 0 by 2050 with UK. Without UK vetoes, the EU will be past the Fit for 55 plan and the £750 billion next gen recovery program focused on green investment. Brexit removed a major obstacle in enabling greater climate ambition and extinction guarantee. 22 months of human extinction rates is severely underexplored. Even modest warming can trigger catastrophe. Climate change is driven every past mass extinction, extreme weather or financial collapse, conflict and disease, amplified crises, small risk as far as tipping cascades. Also, stratocumulus clouds alone could add 8 degrees Celsius. Superpowers may clash over geoengineering or emissions right as heat exceeds 29 degrees Celsius. C2 is implementation aligning with the EU regulations. Cycles action with 21 withdrawal. Let's see UK act faster on policies blocked by EU. It already cut tariffs, formed new trade ties, and redirected EU funds to domestic priorities. A new regime sees the R&D cooperation, political capital for alignment, talks build a roadmap for stable EU coordination and US disengagement. That's upstream cooperation. Brianna 25% negotiations builds deeper cooperation. Political capital helps reduce divergence. US disengagement makes EU coordination essential. Alignment agreements make it create a pragmatic roadmap and stable platform to mitigate political swings. Vetoes make cooperation impossible. Over Hofstra 22 months and for years we've witnessed abuse of vetoes by heads of state. Hungary bloc A to Ukraine sanctions on Ukraine sanctions on Russia, taxation, migration funds, and rule of law subject to vetoes. Politicians change their mind. Usher with 23. Even if models show benefits, they come only after uncertainty. Public opinion is shallow with little strong support. Rejoining could be as reversing 2016, creating incentives to reopen the issue again. The plan signals leaving has no cost and causes backlash, preventing integration. Luke 24, membership is hard due to diverging interest withdrawal. Empowered, some far-right parties now seek reform, not exit. Rejoining faces hurdles as members raise disputes. Spain over Gibraltar, Cyprus over bases, Ireland and Greece over the marbles. Internal disputes and are unresolvable, fragment cohesion and escalate. Niket 23 finds that Europe faces over 20 unresolved conflicts. The EU framework promote peace, but that plays a limited role. It lacks tools to intervene or impose decisions on some disputes. Our third connection is India. The UK and India discussed a free trade agreement around 25. India UK FTA finalized on May 6 boost traded by 25.5 billion euros and aims to double it to 40 billion by 2040, marking a major post-Brexit milestone. That's key for Indian economy. It directly offsets US tariffs as the EU 25 has the losses from US tariffs are offset by rising exports to the UK under the new FTA, which boosts India's textile sector and creates a level playing field. Affirming once the EU country members can make trade deals outside the organization walls. BBC 16 says the US has to leave EU before new trade under EU rules. Countries cannot make trade deals with non-EU countries. Rules apply to all states equally. Improved Germany current trade with the US or Austria 7/25 with the Trump frustratingly dealing with the EU. He claims it's true. The US Trump hoped for a deal with Germany, but EU rules, however, only EC can negotiate trade deals. That's bad without trade deal. Tariffs cook India's economy. Galani 9/17 says the US tariffs cut 0.6% of GDP, cause job losses and exports like housing, weaken the rupee through. Though Modi tries to offset it with free trade deals, Modi distracts from decline with direct aggression. Dalmia 19% Modi annexed Kashmir, distract from cratering economy, move past nationalist fear. Keep Pakistan at big growth, dropped from 8 to 5%. Plummeted. Any Indian escalation causes Pakistan to last year to try or die for them. Minhas 19 finds that India's military buildup and new doctrines engage Pakistan's deterrence, forcing it to act to preserve the balance of power. Indo-Pak war goes nuclear. Bano and Marshall 15 says that India's cold starting on Pakistan's tactical nukes create a user-lose risk of nuclear escalation. Extinction cost supply SARC 15. That's it.
Can you send like a mark, because I'm pretty sure it's paraphrased. Do you have the paraphrasing for the top? C1, C2.
Huh?
C1, C2. Do you have like the actual cut card version?
Yeah. Yeah, the cover.
Yeah, can you send it?
Yeah, sure. You want the not paraphrased script?
Yeah, so this one's paraphrased?
Yeah.
all sent.
The unparaphrased script is in different order. Does that show?
Like, sure, I guess.
Yeah, I just sent it.
Okay, I'll send doc. It'll be fast-ish.
That's
Can you clear me if it's bad?
Mhm.
Thanks.
It's like I do policy.
Yeah. No, I just don't know if I'm like too unclear.
All right, I'll clear you.
Yes, thanks. Wait, I might have sent the wrong doc. That might be my bad. No, I put everything. It's called paraphrasing theory. It has everything in it.
Mhm.
It'll be 1 off and then 2.
Like 2 like subs.
2 subs.
Okay.
Yeah. Doing good.
Let's
Oh yeah, change. Oh wait, the name is probably not there yet.
Hey, really quick. We don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting.
I'm good whenever you want and when everything up.
Oh, still.
Wait. Yeah, I just got it. Give me a minute to down. Or like a second to download it.
This is round 4, by the way.
Yeah. Did I type about round 5 or something?
No, you said round 4.
Oh, wait, but
No, I just lost track.
that's fair.
Let's chill. Sorry, it's just opening.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
Mine.
Everyone good?
Yeah.
First off, in paraphrasing, A, interpretation. Debaters must use direct quotes when introducing evidence for the first time to clarify. Don't paraphrase. B, violation. They violated their interpretation because they re-paraphrased evidence. In round checks, they said so. And 2, flow check. Obviously, they didn't read case and they sent it as well. 3, C, standards. 1, ethics. Paraphrasing inevitably leads to argument. Representation is impossible to accurately word articles and research papers into a few words. And this is bad debate practice is something that is much less likely if you use author's words. Misconstruing evidence is something you should reject on basis unethical. 2, spinning evidence. Paraphrasing incentivizes the team to spin evidence to give them a strategic advantage and to win. And forces the team to debate arguments without true words. Excuse the ground within the debate because it allows for them to have access to infinite arguments while we're restricted to the topic literature, which isn't fair. 3, more research. Paraphrasing encourages lazy research practices where teams only find mediocre evidence and then misconstrue it in round rather than digging deeper in the literature and find the best evidence. It says choice education because debaters are learning less about the topic. 4 times 2. If we want to know the quote of their evidence, not only does it require us to use prep time while they don't have to, but it also takes longer to read through the parts that they paraphrase than our quotes. This is the choice fairness because it increases our time to prepare in strategy and argumentation. The voters. 1, education is the reason schools find debate and find debate and the only portable skill of debate. And 2, fairness. Debate is a combination of fairness and your ability to determine the winner. Drop them for 2 reasons. 1, they vote for us and endorse the positive model of debate. Wins and also determine the direction of the activity. Teams losing for bad practice and incentivize the change in the future. 2, neck ballot. After ballot signifies a remedy to a competitive advantage they've gained from paraphrasing. Competing in terms. 2 reasons. 1, no difference. Debaters and judges assert an arbitrary standard to determine the right line over reasonability, or we debate over what right line is, which collapse into competing interpretations. 2, hacking. Reasonability invites arbitrary judgment based on preference rather than argumentation. The race to the bottom, which debaters exploit. Judges' tolerance for questionable argumentation. No RBIs. Baiting. RBIs incentivize debaters to coerce theory with abusive practices and big prep house killing, substance clash, and other flows. And 2, it's illogical. Like you don't win for like winning defense on our case. And theory first, appears illusory, but voting actually actively sets their norms. Then case. C1 situation, class happening out, so ranking log in 918. Europe teams can't get something content played by a combination of strained budget, fragmentation, opposition from political extreme tolerance, and opposite the norm, process and normal, here to stay, W, striking, political stability, carrying heritage, vulnerable to China, the goes on crisis, result of fragmented parliaments, capacity of government to deliver policy is limited. Decision making processes are slow criticism for nationalism movements. Rest is the final version, proves the country that leaving is an option, in 25. Brexit singular demonstrates the possibility of European disintegration, feels strongly associated with excess and residual lack of competence in new cohesion. Joining the EU means increasing government 12, Jones 425. The EU membership and priorities establishing environmental and reverse consequences of departure, UK absence from agency, weakness leadership on environmental issues, rejoining with signal, renewed willingness to work on climate change, body loss and pollution, radical wave to rebuild structure on which British really legal on neighbors, and increased cohesion, and also solves alternate federal 3-2. Environmental by Trump needs to Ukraine from Chinese influence, close cooperation, therefore concerns security, economic matters, UK requires acknowledging prosperity linked to the EU and the EU to accommodate cooperation, essential to project EU objectives, reliable and more valuable than ever, Jupiter then perhaps to fail it, the use leader of the fight against carbon change, Y24. The EU leader in the struggle to climate change, the EU seeks to foster collective action, good resilience, promote the transition to low carbon economy around the world. The UK and important role drafting majority of the other countries that are architects of the Paris Agreement and continue to encourage other countries to comply. We can't stop the climate at the tipping point now because extinction without immediate action. 5.3. Extreme events amplified by the global warming, the risk of a global tipping point that triggers accelerated climate because they never temperatures are going by each other like they happen in the 2030s. And such shifts in climate if you lose what the planet led to mass death, extinction, tipping lines, capturing for global warming that feeds on itself. C2 is the turns. Russian invasion of the Balkans is imminent. Then the means Lucas. Vision 4. Ukraine's leaders are already about to take making chance Russian instead of defeated self-intervention war mission on top Ukraine next to the Baltics. Russia capable of constituting its forces quickly attacked from military tactics using Ukraine and fierce escalation covered Ukraine. Saying they can take a limited attack, but only limited response. Happening soon. Bro, Fear 4. Based on Russian debate, Russia attacking NATO member in 25 to the training started as intersect closing the gap for guiding need to prioritize rearmament across the board. Defense uniquely critical for EU NATO cooperation. The plans key to establish efforts. Use Fear 20. UK never protected because of bilateral and cooperative links, membership in EU and NATO contributed relationship with the US, maintain transatlantically reflected in the US' foot in Europe. Key strategic position for cooperation between EU and NATO, United Kingdom, UK withdrawal, EU losing key players, sites for inter-organization, no co-op, sugar partnership, hegemon, coordination, loose strengthening, but not advocate for NATO, once it departs, protecting low control taxes for Russia. 475. Leveraging EU's mechanisms to complement NATO alliance to emerge resilient Russia, devalued by transatlantic great vertical fight, render no perception alone in border Russia to aggress against ally. Cut the next card. Conventional conflicts with Russia go nuclear after Ukraine. How can 24? Putin ordered the Russia for nuclear strike in response to conventional attacks. Russia included the border invasion of Ukraine. Russia was under mass attack, entering in final most dangerous phase. Russia included the inevitable direction clash between nuclear powers and extinction. 23. And nuclear great power war extends from misunderstandings could escalate tensions and constitution fight and negotiate. Nuclear weapons could be used with famine caused by winter extinction. Cut Dixon. Do you want Mark Doc?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, son. Yep. Good for cross.
I didn't get wrong. Oh wait, I just thought. Oh yeah, I'm good. Can I get first question?
Yep.
I'll start time now. What's like the competing interrupts you guys read? Like the like.
Competing
Can you
interests.
explain them to me what it says? Like what it means?
Competing interests. Yeah, so one, RBI, sorry, reasonability collapses into competing interests because we debate over the right line of where a
Wait, can you
reasonability
say
should. Sorry, reasonability collapses into competing interests because we have to debate over what is reasonable or not. Two, it incentivizes judge intervention because it means that when we use reasonability, you basically go judge, choose whether or not this is good or bad, which one allows us judges to set norms, and two makes it so we don't actually have best norms. Because
Wait, so are you saying competing interrupts should not be read, or are you saying no RBIs?
Yes, competing interrupts, no RBIs, i.e. you don't get to win.
Okay, just no RBIs.
No RBI, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can
Both.
have question.
Sure, let's.
Wait, what do you mean by both?
I'm reading competing interrupts, like yes, competing interrupts, and no RBIs.
Yeah, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Cohesion down, why?
Wait, sorry, can you, like, ask the question? Oh, are you trying on C2?
Wherever the cohesion stuff is done, yeah.
It just says that, like, EU countries don't like the UK. Adding them in adds in another veto, and it also, like, fragments the organization.
Okay, your, the NICET evidence already says that fragmentation has happened. Why don't we see your impact?
It'll just get worse.
So,
Our
the
world, I
link
guess.
has already
Like, it's getting better. Like, our uniqueness evidence is from more recent, saying that the EU EU regulations are aligned right now. Like, okay, maybe in the past they were fragmented. They're better right now.
Yeah, so why didn't the NICET evidence trigger the link earlier?
It wasn't as, like, to the severity that affirming does.
What's the indication of that? Why do you know?
That's what the evidence says.
Sure, okay, you got a question.
What's the warranting as to why theory is fair?
Theory first, because one fiat is illusory, passing the plan doesn't mean you actually get anything. And
Wait, was
two,
this in constructor what you just said?
Yeah, I said fiat is illusory, passing
Okay.
the plan doesn't actually doing anything. We set norms. Yeah.
Okay, you can have a question.
Yeah, let's talk about, wait, actually, real quick, C1, you guys, climate's at the bottom, that's why. Energy policy is good now, why does UK uniquely deck?
They veto. Policy.
Where does it say it vetoes?
It's the Liberian.
Yeah, where in the Olivia evidence you're paraphrasing also doesn't tell me where.
I mean, like we sent you a like non-paraphrased version too. Like I can go look at the evidence
So
right
you
now
want me
if you
to,
want.
like-
Do you want me to go look in the evidence?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Give me a moment then. I don't have it open. Is at the bottom. Alright, let me just come at that Olivia. Okay. Oh yeah, the Oliviera evidence says that after the UK left, they were able to initiate action. I think the piece of evidence before says it's because of veto.
Okay, cool.
Oh wait, real quick. Who's from what school?
Or Dougherty.
We're Foothill.
Okay, then you guys were con. Okay, good.
We'll take prep.
I'll start time now.
That's all prep.
That was 12 seconds.
Okay, send doc. By the way, for your sub arguments, it's gonna be like, it's reverse, like we're responding to Russia and then.
Oh yeah, sure.
Just sent. There might be something off the doc, but I'll go specifically select it. Like, if we have enough time to do it. We stay for that doc. Is that true?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Do you want the?
No, it's fine. Okay. Okay. Is everyone ready?
And what's the order?
It's gonna be off this. It's gonna be the CI and then just defense. Everyone ready? Great.
Wait. Is there a doc? You said?
Yeah.
Yeah. You sent it, did not send.
Alright, I just downloaded it. You
Okay,
can
great.
get your code.
Counter-interpretation when evidence is introduced in the line to be paraphrased and not is under code B. We have code we paraphrase and we gave them a non-paraphrased version as well. See standards. Reading efficiency paraphrase evidence concise word meaning it takes less time to read as a result. We can include more evidence interpretation, encourage greater research and create more points in class. 2. Allows more research paraphrase and limited distance of this quality nuance author with complex wording by letting debaters simplify target. 3. Critical thinking paraphrase forces debaters to reword evidence which means improve the actual understand the words rather than copying and pasting mindlessly reading down quote. 4. Real world practices and real world academics, journalism, politics, legislation. Nobody directly posts author with correct cards. People paraphrasing plus less or more real world takeaways from everyday. 5. Inclusivity. Paraphrasing allow debaters simplify wording and turn it into a more accessible for fellow debaters, judges, and audience. 6. Complex evidence. Paraphrasing allows you to use graphs and tables which are open source and creative evidence and data. Allows debaters to analyze advanced data. 7. Skills. Not everyone knows how to cut cards, forcing everyone to read off cards, pushing people out of debate. 8. Persuasion. Reading off cards, taking rhetoric and persuasion out of public communication prevents us from learning persuasive cases which take a real world. 9. Vocabulary. When evidence uses words from debaters they don't know, they have to look at words to find synonyms to paraphrase. This increases vocabulary and all choice links to voter on education. Team voters. 1. For instance, voter index your ability to decide to vote fairly and everyone we equate the debaters unfair to education is a voter. It's only portable skill from debate. 3. Accessibility as a voter is a power question that as you can benefit from debate if you're excluded from the activity. Grant RVIs. We're skewed 2 to 1. Our opponents can either win on the theory or substance while we need to win both in the round. 2. Exception theories is key to unlikely substantive debate. 3. Theories interpretation of how debate can be so us beating with our counter intermediate drop there and discourage the model and pick us up to encourage our model. 4. This makes theory debate reciprocal, improving fairness and gives us a way to win if there's no risk here that on every team would read theory rather than debate they lose all their work for no RVIs. 1. We're chicken abuse. There are chicken abuse that are provided. They're provided whether a norm is bad. So we're saying that paraphrasing bans are not as well, but they're paraphrasing. So you drop them to promote paraphrasing on and disincentivizing. This is a terrible argument. RVIs don't disincentivize theory. They disincentivize bad theory. There's a genuine abuse of the mandate theory. So still win. With an RVI, great RVI just disincentivizes for theory. That has nothing to do with creating a prep skew on me. Better debater read their own theory about for stuff like that. She does. Better debater also win on substance. No need to debate on illogical. We are improving. We're just proving our norm is better than the reciprocity. It doesn't make sense. We're just saying that for norm is better than ours about on their intro. 1. On the argument about evidence ethics. 1. On you can miscall evidence in the world for straw manning brackets. 2. No, there are other disincentivizers to reading miscall evidence like Ivy has an index. 3. Not only none of our evidence is miscall, you shouldn't drop us, don't punish for a crime you didn't commit. 4. Not only they should contact us before and ask to disclose our evidence. 5. Turn some misconstruction debate is good. Teachers debate how to find fake evidence in real world skills of being able to sort through fake news, which is key to real world policy making and voting. Non-union teams reading full cards and misconstrue the power tags. And look to how they were. More research. 1. To reset reading codes and incentivize the team to look for evidence. The same thing for Euro paraphrasing and incentivize the teams to find arguments when finding the different words to turn. Reset paraphrasing removes disincentivizes to read high quality nuanced evidence that has difficult wording to understand. 3. Non-union, you can miscut codes to make it say something else affects you. No link. They didn't have to read code cards. They put the burden on themselves too. No link in our world. Everyone paraphrases, which means nobody gets code 3. No link. You can literally just listen to the paraphrased version and copy it to the codes. 4. Disclosure means you can check evidence beforehand. They say we could. 5. They say we could probably setting up as we had nothing to probably did and grant RBS. Okay. Go on deterrence. 1. Non-union the UK already prohibits in EU deterrence. European Council. Despite Brexit, UK remains a key player in EU security. On cohesion. 1. EU cohesion is stable. Small differences are priced in TikTok 25. The EU is humming along, producing a myriad of different policies that they can offer. Solution legitimacy will dwindle, and existence of risk question will remain. Whether states are willing to risk demise, so the answer is now. However, realities about a break makes peace. Now, current times are at the threshold. The plan breaks cohesion. Luke 24. Members are difficult, diverging into UK withdrawal meant to gain a representation for something bears to strengthen the EU. Britain voted between a treaty without the UK. The EU would deepen the single market. Far right no longer remains to lead. Cut the card right there. 6. Uniqueness back on the trans defense is strong now. Europe has little fear from Moscow. NATO, airline, water, and sea power. NATO has over 700,000 more active troops than NATO's with it. Cut card.
We'll send Mark.
Oh, thanks. There's something marked.
Yeah, we're marking it right now.
Okay, we're sending it right now. You sent?
No, you know what it is. Alright, running prep, starting.
How much prep have you guys used?
12. Wait, 240.
Okay. Okay, bring this in.
Oh, do you want me?
Yeah.
Right, sure. It'll be formatted really bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, what does that mean? Oh, like, are you gonna sign for us?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming it's a sentence.
Yeah. No, then can you go like a little bit slower?
Like, when you sign for us, yeah.
Is that all your prep?
No.
No, like 20 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me check. Do you see what I meant to download?
You guys just sent our doc back to us.
Yeah, no, there's stuff on it.
Oh.
There's stuff on it. Like, it's under the stuff that you read.
Oh.
It's like you have a standard and then the answer's under the standard.
No, okay.
That's weird, sorry.
Yeah, it's good.
Wait, are you guys gonna go on, like, our sub at all?
Huh?
Like, our side of, so the substance debate?
The subs. The sub.
No. Wait, should I have, if I have time?
And that's just all gonna be analytics.
No. Wait, can you send that to me?
Wait, isn't it at the bottom?
No, it's in.
This is just, like, our evidence that we read on it.
I'll send it.
Alright, thanks.
It's sent.
Okay, I'll let you know. I just didn't got it. Me and Matt took out.
It's the subs.docs, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay, you're gonna read this out if I have time. Okay, I got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the order? It's gonna go your CI, and then your inter.
Wait, do our intern first.
Where is that?
It's here. You're on it.
Okay, wait. Our inter, and then
Oh, like the defense? Like, are you sending me the card?
It's like answer to your stuff.
Okay.
and then what? Like, there's so much stuff on top.
And then go to their.
What
So
is
it's
it?
just theory.
Oh, and then subject time.
It's
Okay, what do you want me to
go our intern first and their intern.
do? Okay.
Wait, the doc you sent has a lot of subs and stuff. I zoom. I don't flow any of that. I just flow the theory stuff, right?
It'll probably just be free.
Cool.
Hey, give me a sec. Oh, this is their inter.
That's our intern.
Oh, we're good. Okay. I'm just gonna read the underlying stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Going for the evidence ethics on their first argument, evidence ethics is one non-unique worse for their world because we check back for against that too, and the only card cutting actually lets you. But then two, it's against a no link. You drop fairness is bad before the round and it stops that before round 3 on the third line. No link. You drop sets norms 4 on. 4, we didn't, on the 4th, no link, we didn't, doesn't matter, 5 on the turn, it's bad for fairness because it still is a reason to reject the team. On the 6th, non-uniqueness, also bad because it's easier to read defense if you know what's bad, but it's not when we paraphrase it, and then what?
Do their interpret, or do fairness, and then their interpret.
Where's that?
Top.
Okay, fairness over everything is an indictment to the ballot because it's the only way you can actually control education. No education is unfair space, which means that people are excluded. There's only education for those who are unfair. And then what?
On their counter interpret.
Okay, on their counter interpret. 1, on reading efficiency. You can just read faster, paraphrasing, misconstrues evidence to increases fake education because it's unethical, because real evidence means you have real classrooms, actually qualified evidence, not high school analytics and high school opinions. But then, on research, you can always just define words in brackets. You can still access it. You just have to make sure that people actually know that you're not increasing your own opinions into the evidence. On 3, on critical thinking, like you can think to understand what the evidence means. That's how you actually like when you're researching, you do the critical thinking when you're researching the evidence. But 4, on real world practices, they drop that bad for education, still on that bad for research, and for debate because debate is a research activity. 5, on inclusivity, you can also cross out brackets. 6, on complex evidence is wrong because you can always analyze the data with analytics, and you have graphs have subtitles and captions that you can then cut card 2. 7 on skills is wrong because when you increase education in debate by forcing people to learn, like saying like they can paraphrase is not an excuse because they cutting cards is fundamental part of actually doing debate. 8, on persuasion, it's wrong because it still can be good. Also convincing people with your own words is bad because it's like ethics and evidence is an important part of debate. But then 9 is vocabulary, you can also cross out brackets. Then on voters. On grant RBIs, yes, RBIs, but obviously, but RBIs is only as a reason they win for reading offense, but that's the only thing their RBIs are for because they can actually win on theory too. And then what?
Go to the dropped the spinning evidence. Yeah.
Okay. Extend spinning evidence is drop paraphrasing, incentivize the team to spin evidence to give them a strategic advantage to win and force teams to debate arguments without true warrants to skew the ground within the debate because it allows for them to actually have access to infinite arguments while we're restricted to the topic literature, which isn't fair. It's dropped. It dropped means that they can always have more ground.
They always get more ground.
They always get more ground than us, which is unfair. And then on substance.
Let's go to subs.
Okay, on substance. On them, C1, on climate change. 1, joining the EU means to increase environmental cooperation, extend Janssen 425. EAA is legally binding, means the UK is forced to comply, doesn't matter about their feelings, it's about legal law. And then 2, the EU needs a unanimous decision, the UK is the one rejoining, it's at the mercy of the other countries will listen and not have a veto. On C2, implementation. 1, cohesion is down, Sterling postdates Barana by 16 days, but 2, delinked because majority of the EU wants UK back, Smith 17. The UK would be welcomed with open arms by the Western Europeans, at least half of the publics across the largest EU nations, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain support the UK back. 3rd, their look evidence about fragmentation can see the only reason why EU looks stronger now is because the populace are in charge and they think they can break the EU from within. And then actually not that. That was like 32 seconds over time.
What?
For us.
Wait.
Oh,
Sorry.
On C3, India. The EU trades with India. The EU Commission 8.5. The EU is India's largest trading partner, accounting for $120 billion in 2024. They can't explicitly say why the UK is key because the EU is also contributing so much to India's economy. Go back to theory. Fairness of substance. Fairness subsumes accessibility. Accessibility is a part of fairness. If we win more fairness, it's better. It's better for the. Okay. Wait, sorry for the interruption. We got our timer mixed up.
Oh, that's fine.
Can we take flex prep real quick?
Yeah.
On the doc, you don't have number 3. Can you just send a response on the Gmail?
Well, for what?
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
Critical thinking. What'd you say?
Just send it on the Gmail.
Oh yeah. I think it was an analytic.
Yeah, it was an analytic.
Can
you repeat it? Critical thinking, when you actually do the research, you have to understand what the evidence is saying, and that's how you know you can put it into your case.
Okay. That's 24.
Yeah, I got 15. Because we stopped.
Okay.
Okay, we'll start prep.
No, wait, it's cross, right?
Oh, yeah. Ross?
Yeah. Time starts now. Before paraphrasing, how do you check back against evidence ethics and just misconstruing the evidence?
Okay, one, we sent you not only the non-paraphrase version, but we also sent you all of the cut cards, and you have complete freedom to compare the actual text of the evidence to the cards. But the reason that all of your standards fail is that you didn't give us any, you didn't go to the card, and then you didn't go to the corresponding part of the script and say that we're misconstruing the evidence.
Okay, but are you expecting us to check every single piece of evidence that you read and to check back against it in the time of, like, in 3 minutes of time?
I mean, that's only fair if you're assuming that we misconstrued it. I mean, you can't just assume that we're going into the round to do bad.
Okay,
Or,
so are
like,
you
do
saying that in
nothing.
every single future debate, everyone can paraphrase, and it's their obligation to check for every single piece of evidence to make sure that the team has not has not misconstrued the evidence in any way?
Yes, because if you actually care about the debate space in total, you would assume that whoever's coming into the round isn't going to violate whatever norm it is. Otherwise, if that was actually true, then you reading this intro wouldn't do anything because you'd have to read it every single round. There'd be no substantive debate at all because then you'd assume that everyone is always doing bad, and then regardless in both worlds, you still check back. Like whether or
How
not
do you make sure that they're not all of the actual debate is not just used to check back for if their evidence is violated, and how do you encourage more
Wait,
actual
also,
debate?
isn't just checking back the evidence a good thing? Because then you also get to understand the evidence better. Because if we're just not even if we're not paraphrasing it, you don't have to check the evidence.
Okay,
Isn't
right,
that
but by you paraphrasing it, you don't have to say what the evidence is even saying. You can just tell us what you think the evidence is saying and tell us what you want.
Wait, so then what's your issue with just comparing the evidence? I mean, like we're telling you, right? Not only did we send you a non-paraphrase version, but we also sent you the entire card list to double check whether anything was paraphrased. You saying that we should just be able to read faster is very exclusive because some people don't have the same talking speed. Some people may have different lisps. They can't talk the same speed as other people. They can't control that. But what they can control is how their preparation is before the round. They can specifically work on fixing their lisp. That's kind of abusive. Can we take a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, on our standard about persuasion, you just said wrong can still be good. Can you explain more?
Okay, yeah. So the thing about persuasion is that when you read the evidence itself is inherently going to persuade the judge because that's what the facts are. When you paraphrase everything, you're just inserting your own bias into it, and that's
Wait, so what if the judge doesn't understand the evidence because the vocabulary is
then you explain it in your own words after reading the evidence.
So are we forced to explain our research that we spend so long on and take
Yes,
time?
because that increases your understanding of the research without bringing your own biases in.
Isn't it? Wait, don't we increase our understanding of the research even more when we put it into our own words?
Sure, but it doesn't have to be you paraphrase the card and then you. Okay,
What does paraphrasing mean?
paraphrasing means you put it into your own words, but you read it as it's what the evidence says. The difference between when you read actual evidence and you explain it is
So as long as we
the explanation is the implication part. It's the actual analysis of the evidence and what that means in that round.
Wait, as long as we didn't misconstrue any evidence, isn't it?
But how, you saying that means we have to check back for every single piece of evidence to make sure that you actually didn't misconstrue against that.
Okay, what's it run time? Oh, we've taken 37 total, so we have 2 and 23 left. I'll start time now. That was 150.
Yep.
So we have like 40 left. Okay. It's gonna be RBIs, R shell, like the CI, and then just like weighing up the standards. Well, we're kicking something. Okay.
Oh, you said no substance?
Yeah.
Cool.
Round is game over when they concede RBIs, except the CI violation, counter interpretation, when evidence introduced in the round can be paraphrased, not as direct code. We have cut cards that we have paraphrased, and we gave them a non-para version. Grant RBIs, we are screwed 2-1. Our opponents can win on either theory or substance, while we need to win both to win the round. They dropped us in the last speech. Don't let them come up with a new response and summary. They dropped the warrant that they just said we can win theory, but winning theory doesn't do anything without RBIs. We still have to win the substance debate. On the standard, it takes spring theory, which is key to unlocking substantive debate. Their theory is, sorry, not on the standards. Their theory is an interpretation for how debate should be. So us beating it with our counter entry means you drop them to discourage their model and pick us up to encourage our model. This makes theory debate reciprocal, improving fairness by giving us a way to win. It also increases like communication and deliberation on norms, leading to the best norms. If it's a no risk issue, every team would only read theory rather than debate where they could lose. Go to the standards. Persuasion, reading off of Qatar states, rhetoric and persuasion out of public forum cases, which prevents us from learning persuasive skills, which are key to the real world things. All they can say is that, oh, you should just like read faster, but like, what if I'm disabled, or like, what if I have a list, I can't read faster? Then secondly, complex evidence paraphrasing also allows you to use graphs and tables, which opens up for the use of complex evidence. They just say that graphs have captions, but not all graphs have captions. They say that you can use an analytic to refer to it, but using an analytic to refer to a graph is literally paraphrasing. Allows more research. Paraphrasing eliminates incentivizes to read quality, nuanced authors with complex wording by letting debaters simplify jargon. They say you can bracket. We basically did. We sent them a para and non-para version. That's basically just the same thing as bracketing. Reading efficiency, paraphrase evidence has more concise wording, meaning it takes less time to read. As a result, we can include more evidence in our speeches, encouraging greater research and greater more points of clash. You can read faster. Again, that's abusive if I have a list. But accessibility is a voter. It's a prior question as you can't benefit from debate if you are excluded from the activity. Conceded theory first, kick sub. On their standards for argument evidence ethics. None of our evidence is miscut. You shouldn't draw, but don't punish us for a crime we didn't commit. Their warrant is horrible, not in speech, on research. Tweets say that reading cut cards incentivizes the team to look for evidence that says the same thing but pretty well. Paraphrasing incentivizes the team to find arguments with fundamentally different warrants. This is dropped, classify this to the argument of research prep. So you can literally just listen to the paraphrase version and compare it to the quotes. It's not hard. Like, they say that it's unfair that they have to look at the paraphrase version and our like evidence, but you literally do that every round when you listen to what a debater's saying and you look at their evidence. So it's literally the same thing. They kick themselves out of their inclusivity impacts because they literally just say read faster. That excludes people with really bad speech impediments. They can't control their impediments, but they can control how they adapt to it. They drop the prereq on all their standards that in order to evaluate the shell, they must guarantee we actually misconstrue our evidence. We prove we don't misconstrue. We gave a non-paraphrase version. Weigh accessibility over fairness. In order to be fair, you must even be accessible. Otherwise, there would be no debate in the first place. We are more accessible because judges can understand evidence better. You can adapt to speech impediments and also hearing disabilities. Being fair doesn't do anything. If you literally kick people out of debate space, that's not fair in itself, and that leads to also like a decrease in education because without like people in the debate space, you're not going to have any education. Is there anything else? Wait, I'll shoot at the dog. One restricting abuse, they aren't checking abuse, they are providing whether a norm is bad, and so we are just saying paraphrasing is better than not paraphrasing. If you drop them to provoke paraphrasing, and that actually makes better norms on disincentivize theory. This is a terrible argument. RBIs don't disincentivize theory, they disincentivize bad theory. If there's genuine abuse in another theory, show you should still win. Okay.
Hello. Running the prep.
It stops. No?
No.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting really tripped up as my bad.
Oh wait, I guess like restarting now. Good. 5. It'll just be theory. It'll be.
Is there doc?
Huh?
Is there doc?
Like, no, it's gonna be all over the place. And not like all over the place. Like, the doc is probably not gonna help you.
Okay. Can we go
Just like
Yeah, sure. Okay. It'll go our shell, their shell. Extend the intro debaters must use direct quotes when introducing evidence for the first time to clarify. Don't paraphrase the violation. They violate our intervention because they read paraphrase evidence in round checks and they flow check. Then standards. We're going for 1. Ethics paraphrasing inevitably leads to argument misinterpretation. It is impossible to accurately word articles and research papers into few words, which leads to bad debate practices. Something much less likely if you use the author's misconstruing evidence that you reject on face as unethical. They just say that like we can't find a specific reason, but like drop that the reason why we can't do that is because they do paraphrasing in the first place, which is why we don't have enough time to look through their evidence. But 2, like their Oliveira evidence is probably
equally bad because it doesn't actually say that like we don't they'll be harmful for climate. Yes, we get a new answer now because I didn't have the time to read through the evidence in the first place. Then they say that they say don't punish for a crime that they didn't commit. They concede that it's models debating right now. We're looking at what's the better models. If our model is on net better for making sure that we have less misinterpretation, you still prefer our model. And yeah, then also drop to the standard on spinning evidence, paraphrasing, incentivize the team to spin evidence to give them a strategic advantage to win, and forces teams to debate arguments without true warrants, excuse ground within the debate because it allows for them to have infinite arguments while we are restricted to the topic literature, which isn't fair. Oral error is definitely an example of this, and also means that like on net they're still like decreasing fairness because they're especially there's like a risk of them decreasing fairness because like the fairness like because they are able to do like paraphrasing, which is a reason that you should reject the team. Then let's go to RBIs. On RBIs, they don't get RBIs, but what we've agreed to them that if their model is better, then they win, which is their RBIs argument. Doesn't mean that they preclude us from doing theory debating in the first place, because all of their standards about actually precluding them from winning the round is based on an RBI, which is that they can't win off offense either. Then. Go to the weighing. Fairness over everything is an indictment of the ballot, and the only way they can actually control education or accessibility. No education in an unfair space, which means that these people are excluded. There's only education for those who are unfair in the first place, which excludes people, which also one links into their accessibility standard, but also it's dropped, which means that you should prefer it over education. And fairness and fairness subsumes accessibility. They say accessibility is a reason why we should try to get people into the space, but fairness also precludes people from getting into the space. So if our standard is better for fairness, then it's also better for accessibility in the first place. And okay. Yeah, so then, yeah, then their intern. Actually, their intern on all the accessibility things that they say that we harm accessibility. Wrong. Like they do speed in the first place. And like they don't extend. We'd say that like reading off cut cards can still occur, and that like you can still like add analytics to the back, which is probably a reason why you still get accessibility. And our fairness standards come first over their accessibility because it indexes the entire ability to do debate in the first place, and it looks at like whether we can have an accessible space in the first place. If fairness is violated, then you can't consider accessibility because you don't know if like they're procedurally like being like a disaccessibility if they don't have the fairness in the first place. Yeah. Extend, drop the debater. They should lose if our norm is better than theirs. Like, yeah.
Okay, can I get first question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start time now. Wait, what do you mean by if it's unfair, we can't tell if they're disaccessibility?
So fairness, if you aren't fair, you can't have a fair reading of the round, which precludes accessibility from being arbitrated.
Wait, what does that mean? Like
You
isn't
can't-
it the
if you
exact
don't have-
opposite? Isn't accessibility a link into fairness? Because if a round is not accessible, it's inherently unfair in the first place. Like it's unfair if I'm somebody with a list where I'm someone with a hearing aid who has to like spread out all my cases and I can't even understand what I'm saying or what's being said in the round.
Fairness, the ability to do debate in the first place, indicts that.
Wait, yeah, so if it's inaccessible, I can't do the debate.
Sure.
So you can see it.
No, I mean, I think fairness comes first because it allows us to do that in the first place.
Wait, why does it allow us to do that?
Because otherwise you are infinitely unfair, which means that you can infinitely try to do things that make things inaccessible.
Oh wait. Say that I have a speech impediment.
Yeah.
I come to round and then you read that, and then I specifically want to read a lot of smart evidence, but the evidence is too long and I can't fit it all in one speech, but I want to have a smart debate, and my speech impediment stops me from reading quickly. So you're telling me that I should still read the evidence and I should cut myself off from that debate even though I have a speech impediment because it's more fair. Is that right?
Like, one, I guess, like fairness comes first before that, because otherwise you infinitely preclude this person from doing debate in the first place. Because if paraphrasing is bad, they are already doing something that is unfair, which is precluding another team.
No, but if debate is inaccessible, it's unfair in the first place because it's unfair to people with like speaking disabilities, like speech impediments, whatever, right? So, like, what's the response?
So, like, okay, like, what do you want me to say? I've said the same thing like 5 times.
I still don't understand how like fairness leads to, or I don't know what you're saying. How fairness leads to accessibility not being an issue.
Fairness is a subsuming of accessibility. So I guess you can do the accessibility debate
But
within the
how?
fairness debate. Because
Like, can you
accessibility is a part of fairness.
I don't understand how.
Otherwise, you're saying basically it's unfair to be inaccessible, which is a part of fairness debate.
Sure.
Which is a part of fairness debate.
Okay.
But our argument
Wait,
comes
so you
first.
can see that accessibility links into fairness.
But same goes the other way.
How does, yeah, but I don't understand how it goes the other way.
Because fairness links into accessibility. If you are unfair, then you are skewing the other team out of the round, making it inaccessible.
Wait,
for them.
how did we skew you out of the round?
You skew us out of the round because we have to check more evidence and more time, and your ethics are bad.
Wait,
Don't we have to check
theoretically-
your evidence either way?
Yeah, wait, if I sent you a paraphrase and a non-paraphrase version, and if it was a regular round, and you heard me speaking, and you're reading my cards, you're doing the same thing, right? When you hear
But
me
if
speaking.
you just have the cards, I don't have to cross-check one on
But
the
you
other.
do that in every round when you're listening to a debater and you're also reading their evidence. You're like cross-checking internally, no? Like I
But
don't think you
this-
used any extra prep.
What?
Like I don't see where the time skewed.
Yeah, because we can't time skew, because otherwise it's unfair. But
No,
that's
yeah, but
us.
where were you guys time skewed in the round?
All of our evidence.
Okay, we'll take the 40 seconds for a rest right now.
Okay. Just order it's gonna be. I'll just walk you through it. Okay, is everyone ready?
I'm good.
Okay. Extending counter-interpretation whenever this is introduced in a round, it can be paraphrased and not right as a direct code B. If we meet, we have cop cards that paraphrase and we have cop cards that we paraphrase and we gave them a non-paraphrased version instead, so they can literally compare the cards on and then one on their evidence about misrepresentation. They literally bring up only one evidence and that's new and final, which is the Oliveira evidence. But if you actually look to the Oliveira evidence, it's the most fair representation of the actual cop card. Let's read it. After Brexit, Europe launched a Green Deal and common law to reach net zero by 2050 without the UK veto. The EU swiftly passed the Fit for 55 plan and 750 billion next-gen recovery program focused on investment. Brexit removed a major obstacle enabling green climate ambition. Compare this after the round. Look at the actual text of the card. They could do the evidence if they wanted in the round, regardless if we paraphrase or not. Debaters are still going to be comparing evidence and looking at it in the round because they want to make comparative analysis. But then, their other standard that they want to go for is based on the Oliveira evidence that doesn't do which basically does nothing. But on their arguments, they don't get they just say we don't get arguments and they get arguments if the model of debate is better. But we're saying our model of debate is better because we're advocating for accessibility. Notice in their entire speech, they don't even understand their own more as to why fairness is better than accessibility. They drop the weight as to why accessibility is more important because fairness is built on the entire notion of accessibility. If I can't even come to the round, how can the round be fair in the first place? Like debating the round is the prerequisite to being fair. Otherwise, fairness so that because like there's how can we be fair if I'm not in the round? But then they drop the speech impediment where they say that they literally tell us to read the cards faster. But if we have a speech impediment, that means we can't adapt to it. But we can adapt to it before round by adapting the amount of text that we read and what we actually read, which is completely fine. But then, grant that we're skewed 2-1. Our opponents can win on either theory or substance, while we need to win both on this round. We're clearly winning the theory show because they dropped the weighing on the accessibility versus standard, and so far we're already our standard. We linked into our standard easily. Where we're telling you it's better. It's accessibility because we're telling you that if we go to round, the cards are gonna have more complex vocabulary and the judge is not gonna understand. That's inaccessible for the judge to understand and some debaters to understand because complex vocabulary is gonna kick them and make them actually spend more time outside of their prep trying to research the different synonyms, and that links into their own very own standard about taking more time out of round. So you're just extending the weighing, and yeah. You're on.
What?
Wait, what?
No, bro, seriously. Sorry, he's just confused.
Wait, sorry, I've been second like all this.
No, you're good. Okay, prep.
What did you have?
A 15.
Okay. voter.
Yeah, and then I guess their show.
Okay. Three, two, one. Extend paraphrasing. A is interpretation. Debaters must use direct quotes when introducing evidence for the first time to clarify. Don't paraphrase. B is violation. They violate our interpretation because they read paraphrase evidence in round checks. They said to flow check. They obviously didn't read case. C is the standards. Extending spinning evidence. It goes completely drop paraphrasing. Incentivizes teams to spin evidence to give them a strategic advantage to win and forces teams to debate arguments without true warrants, excuse of ground within the debate because it allows them to have access to infinite arguments while we're restricted to the only to the top literature, which isn't fair. And then D is the voters on fairness. Fairness is voter indicts your ability to debate to decide the round fairly, and everyone should quit if debate was unfair. One, it links into accessibility because fairness for accessibility, the ability for the two to do debate in the first place indicts accessibility. They drop that fairness, it subsumes accessibility. If we prove it precludes people to getting into the space, then we win. But if it indicts because you can have inaccessible space in the first place, it's unfair to be inaccessible because you skew them out of the round by making them cross-check the evidence. Fairness indicts accessibility because that's the entire scope of the debate. If fairness is a good norm, it helps every single round, not just when there's a lift or a speed problem. And your cursor blocking. And the problem, yours cursor. It's a problem for everyone. If we win our show helps every single round, then it's better than theirs. On RBIs, we grant RBIs because it's the only reason why they can win for reading offense. It's the only thing that their RBIs are there for because they can win on theory too. And then.
They do misconstrue evidence.
They do misconstrue evidence because their all-of-area evidence doesn't actually say that Brenter would be harmful for climate. There's no time for us to check back, so we can read it in summary and final.
Go for and it's models debating, so.
Oh, right. And it's models debating, so it's not just like that we didn't have time to check back for evidence in this round. It's that no one can check back for evidence within the 3 minutes of the prep time. And every single other round, not just when there's a problem with like the speech impediment.
Good round.
Good round.
Good round. Wait, no more speeches, right? Yes, no more speeches, ready.
Or if you guys want to look for 10 to 15 minutes, I can just.
Yeah, that's true. Don't know if it's bad.
Nah.
Good round. Thank you, judging.
Did you do anything fun on Halloween?
Yeah, I went trick-or-treating.
Nice.
Yeah, what about you?
I watched a horror movie with my friends. What did you dress up as?
That was goodies.
You never shared. You're not comfortable.
I don't think I'll share.
Okay, that's fine. is this the last round of it, or do we have one more?
No, we have one more. There's a thing over there.
I'm just gonna leave this here.
What grade are you in?
We're juniors. What about y'all?
I'm a freshman. I'm a senior.
Wait, why is DB's like not young kids also crap? How did this happen?
Oh, you know, you just like having a life.
Yeah, it's like one cluster of our middle school. Grew up.
For middle school? Do you guys have like a middle school program?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're like half the pool, bro.
Is that all middle schoolers?
You would not have that many real teams.
Wait, cause I swear to God, I always see like at some tournaments there's like 10 DBTs. I'm like,
No,
how is this
it's
possible?
all like these novices.
It's all novices, okay.
They hit